Welcome to another edition of 42 Straight Years in Volume 2, Part 42. On my crackhead update, I was at the 7-Eleven on Live Oak. Now I figured out where the crackheads at. They behind the 7-Eleven. They got a camp sit up behind the 7-Eleven. I parked over on the side, and this crazy looking lady come out. She had a lot of sticks in her hand. So she started throwing sticks. And I was just checking out to see if any of them going to come over there and get close to me so I can check her ass. But she would peep and look at me, then she'd run, and she'd come back and peep and run. I went inside the store. I was going to say, hey, y'all know y'all got a lady behind y'all store throwing sticks? The lady in that 7-Eleven asked me, she said, how many of them did you see? I said, well, I just saw one. She said, no, baby, it's more than one back there. So that's where they at. They behind the store. Because they got the sign posted telling the customers, do not give the panhandlers anything. Okay, that's my crackhead update. Y'all know what it is. Get your shanks out and let's ride. I still don't have no Wi-Fi. I don't even have a hotspot. Cricket said my phone is not compatible to get a hotspot. So I got a better camera than what I'm using, but I need Wi-Fi or a hotspot. Well, okay, let's ride, y'all. Mark Cuban, the billionaire owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he made a statement. He said that if he was walking and he encountered 4 young black males, that he would cross the street. Now, people said that was racist. That is street smart. Hell, I would do the same thing. You know, in the daytime, maybe it depends on the neighborhood you're in. But at night, if you see them before they see you, I would advise you to cross the street. If not, be armed and extremely dangerous. Because you never know what the young guy's gonna try. Now, people are talking about the Black Lives Matter and all this stuff. I get the point. But I can speak of Dallas. I imagine it's the same in other cities. In the inner city in Dallas, you ain't got to worry about no police, no white guy, no Hispanic guy. You got to worry about these young black guys. They are the ones that's shooting and killing all these people, carjacking and robbing for cell phone. That's who doing it. At night, you can't even go in the West End. Go down there about 11 or 12 o'clock at night. It's a possibility that you will be robbed. And guess who's going to be the one robbing you? The young black male. You know, me, I'm not politically correct. And I don't have a cap on what I will say. But one thing I'm going to do is stay close to the facts as possible. Now, here in Dallas, they are the ones who doing all this killing and shooting. That's who it is. I'm not worried about no Dallas police at all. I'm not even worried about them. And this city's got a lot of activists here. It depends on where you at. They really would not bother you. Depends on where you at. Now, if you're in certain parts of the inner city, man, I see people do all type of crazy stuff. Now, you go out in the suburbs, you won't be able to do that same thing. But you in South Dallas or Oak Cliff, well, they don't say nothing to you. They just ride by and look crazy and keep it moving. You know, if they committing all the crimes, naturally you're going to be targeted by the police. They want to know, they'll say, well, he racial profiled me. Well, it's so many young guys out here putting all these criminal acts. What the hell you think they're supposed to do? You fit the description. You hanging out. If you catch a guy at 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, he not on his way to work. If he's not homeless, I can understand a homeless guy got to be out. Majority of the time, you ain't up to no good. There's nothing going on at 2 o'clock in the morning. Everybody want to be racially sensitive. I understand the history of Dallas. This was a very racial city. It was segregated like hell. I understand all that. But this is a new era. And I got to worry about my own kind more than I'm worrying about some cops. It's certain areas here certain areas here in Dallas, you can't go in there at night. You don't know nobody. You cannot go over there and hang out. That ain't happening. Just ride through that real slow or stop at one of the gas stations and try to get some gas and see what'll happen to you. They just hanging out. Most of them ain't gonna work. There's plenty of jobs here in Dallas. They think they too cute or they too feminized. They not gonna work. They think they entitled and the world owe them something. Nobody don't owe you shit. Get it how you live. And that's basically what they do. All right. The streets are not for everybody. That's why they got sidewalks and all these warning signs. When you get caught up and you go to prison, I don't understand why you would let somebody brutalize you inside of a penal institution. You take that same energy to prison that you had on the outside, and I guarantee you will have far less problems. Anything that they want to do it with them. They don't care about consequences. You don't care about consequences. And everybody be saying that when a guy commit a heinous crime, that he gonna meet Bubba when he get inside the prison. Now I can understand if this was 1975 when I first went to prison. Now that's how it was. This is a different era. Now they got the program, and you got some prisons that got zero tolerance. If administration even get wind of you trying to sexually assault some guy, you're in worlds of trouble. Even at the maximum security prison, they don't even play that. A person on the outside, if someone messed over your loved one, you can get a hookup from the inside. Well, this guy will get his ass tore off the bone, but it's going to cost you some money. You can make it happen. All you need to do is know the right guy from the inside, and it will happen. I guarantee you that. It's all about the dollars. Not just assaulting this guy because he committed some stupid crime or he's a sexual predator. That's not happening. Look at the Texas 7, for example. 3 of them clowns were sex offenders. That show you how Texas prison rolled. These guys were minimum custody, lived in a dormitory, worked in the maintenance department, and they was a regular inmate, just like anybody else. They do not assault sexual predators just because he got a sexual offense. 3 of those guys were sex offenders. Me, myself, I kind of lean toward the guys who stand on their own 2 feet. Even though they were successful at getting out of the institution, I knew when that escape happened, if they didn't separate, they wasn't going to last. 7 clean-cut males hanging out together, and you're all over the news. It's just a matter of time before you're going to attract the wrong person's attention, and they're going to call in on you. People that I done seen were successful at escaping. They did it alone, and they were successful. Once at the Ramsey unit, had this guy He escaped. They caught him. And they brought him back. They laid him out in the hallway. They done beat him almost to death. Let the dogs bite him all up. They laid him right there where we can see him going to chow. It was a psychological effect. He escaped that morning. They caught him a little later in the afternoon. Before they was feeding supper, they didn't give him no medical attention. I'm talking about this guy was beat bad. But he had a twin brother at the prison also. His last name was Batts, B-A-T-T-S. And the prison system has dogs. The ones that they take out with the inmates, that's called a number 1 pack. Those dogs will bite the hell out of you. Now they got other dogs that will not bite. When a kid or elderly person is lost in the woods, they come to the prison system and get the tracking dog to track those people down. They're not going to put dogs on a kid that's going to bite them when they catch up with them. But on an inmate, they use the number 1 pack. Those dogs are going to bite. When they catch up with you, they are going to bite. Unless you know how to handle the dogs. It's a secret to handling prison dogs. That's why if you prison smart, I seen one guy escape. When the dogs caught up with him, he took all the dogs with him and drowned the ass. It's a catch-22 to controlling those dogs. If you have the leather belt, they'll train with a whip. The pop of that whip, they know that means pain. If you take a leather belt like this and pop it, pow, they'll stop and start shivering. That sounds like a whip to them. And you can just actually walk up to them and take the dogs. But you got to be in prison a long time or been a dog boy to know that. Now this guy ran off. He didn't have a plan. He just know he wanted to escape. And we was going to chow. His twin brother was a few guys in front of me. He looked over there and see his brother all beat up and all them dog bites. He started crying, "That's my brother, that's my brother." Immediately, Wildcat let the turnkeys beat him up. They beat him up also. Now, the brother that escaped, he ended up dying. The other brother, other twin, they beat him up so bad, they took him out in an ambulance. I never found out what happened to him. But the other guy, he died right there in the hallway. It used to have a psychological effect on the rest of the inmates. If you escape and we catch you, this is what's going to happen to you. That's why the guys I seen were successful. They knew what the consequences was if they got caught. I said this in one other video. I had a guy named Snag Daniels. He was successful at escaping. He didn't have a plan. All he wanted to do was be close to the Brazos River. And he was going to hit that river on the ass. And he did it. They came back later on that night and told us, we think he drowned. They think he drowned. But no body was never found. Now, 3 years later, I had got transferred from the Ramsey unit back to Eastham unit, and I received a letter that first went to Ramsey, and it was transferred to Eastham by what they call truck mail. That means the prison bus brought it over instead of the United States Postal Service, because I'm no longer at that prison. And this letter only had 3 sentences. It didn't have no return address. It was postmarked from Louisiana. And he said, "Man, I hope this letter finds you in the best of health. I'm doing okay. I made it, and I hope you make it." That was the end of the letter. I said to myself, that Snag, man, he was successful. He told me, he said, "Man, I'm going to escape. Because my wife and kid is homeless. They ain't got food. They ain't got nothing." He only had a 10-year sentence where he would probably do no more than 15 months back then, and he was going home because they didn't hold you in prison a long time. But for every year, you would do 2 months. They had the revolving door. where you in and you right back out. All you had to do is don't catch disciplinary, and you would go home. But he was desperate to go help his young wife and his kid, so he escaped. And he said, once I make it to the swamps of Louisiana, he said, they'll never catch me. He said, I ain't got to come out of them swamps for anything. He said, I know how to survive in the swamps. He said, I'm going to take my wife and kid, and we headed to the swamps, never coming back to Texas again. He said, that's where I'm going to live at, man. And you said, I'm not coming back. You know, the Texas 7 had a good plan, but there was an idiot who was a leader. Everybody with any type of criminal sense know that you got to split up in order to be successful. So everybody don't get caught. But that stupid George Rivers think he was so smart that he got everybody screwed. Well, he didn't receive the lethal injection. I think it's maybe one more of those guys who they haven't killed yet. All the rest of them are dead. And I had the occasion to meet him while I was working death row at the Pulaski unit. He actually thought he was hot shit. I just looked at him, dude, you don't impress me one bit. What took 7 of you cowards to do, I did that by myself. I didn't have nobody, just me. So you're not impressive to me. Damn sure not scared of you, because your ass bleed. I ain't even worried about you. Last night I had cooked some ground meat and stuff, and I kind of got a little food poison. I don't know what was wrong, but I wasn't feeling well for shit. I had been up all night. I finally crashed out about 5 this morning. I was intending to do this video earlier, but I had to get me some sleep. But like I've said before, there's nothing to fear inside of a maximum security prison. You know, you don't go look for trouble, let it find you. When it find you, you handle up and take care of it. And you'll be surprised the results you'll get. Because nobody inside there wants to die. They got some ignorant fools. You can look at people on the outside and just imagine what this guy would be like on the inside with a 50-year sentence. But if they are ignorant, you be just ignorant as they are. Finding a word to get around, hey, we're going to have to leave this guy alone. But like Texas is set up now, they don't allow all the violence. These new modern wardens, there's no way you can explain to them why you stabbed the guy. Tell him, oh, he disrespected me. Man, they'll throw your ass under administrative segregation. They don't even register one of these modern wardens. They gonna go with this old crap about why you didn't go tell the supervisor. Why you didn't file a grievance, like you got time to do all this. And the guy's trying to attack you. But that's the route they're gonna take. They ain't trying to hear nothing about violence. At a few of the maximum security prison, they'll let the fights and all that go on. If you get caught up, they might just drop you to medium custody. You gotta be a maximum security prison. At one of the mediums, they're gonna drop you to close custody and transfer you to another prison because they don't have close custody at those prisons. You will be transferred to a maximum security prison. But in Texas, you want to be at a maximum security prison. The medium security prison got too many rules. They're too damn strict. You prefer to be at a maximum security prison. They're not so strict. But then a maximum security prison in Texas is almost twice the size as a medium. Most of them, all of them got over 2,500 men at a max joint in Texas. Where the medium joints, it's around 1,700 guys there. And the violence level is totally different. At a medium security prison, they ain't gonna have a guy serving a life sentence. It's very rare you'll see a guy with a 50-year sentence. Where at a maximum security prison, a 50-year sentence is a regular sentence there. That ain't no big deal. Enough ranting raving. I gotta head over here on Bonneview Road to get this video uploaded. could go to Walmart. They got powerful Wi-Fi in Walmart. I uploaded a video out of Walmart once. 10 minutes, that video was uploaded. Anyway, y'all like and subscribe. Keep your shanks ready, so we might have to move. Just remember, the cracker is hiding behind the 7-Eleven. If you don't see them in the front, they mean they in the back. But if you ain't into drugs, you ain't got no business going in the back. Ain't nothing back there for you. The gas pumps and all that is in the front. Y'all like and subscribe, and I thank you for watching.